What's up, everybody? This is Marty Friedman, and you're watching CMS TV.
Rose Tattoo is one of my favorite bands.
I love them.
Oh, the fucking Angry Anderson, 78 years old. He's up there with a bottle of Jack Daniels, guzzling, fucking drinking from a bottle at 78. He goes, oh, it's great. His raps in between songs. Over in Australia, we got two genders, male, female. I don't know if there's any liberal fucks out here, but that's us. That's the way we roll. Fuck, it's beautiful.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Its red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Ow!
And welcome to Wednesday. Good afternoon, Chris.
Hello, sir. How are we?
Oh, I am wonderful. This is the Seth Williams Show, of course, with Chris Aiken, and I'm excited for today. I am super excited.
I am pumped up. I love talking to Jim. He's a lot of fun. Certainly, he's well-respected, well-known comedian, and the number of fucks he gives is less than me and you, so that's good.
Quite good, because I'll tell him personally that I'm kind of fanboying out a little bit.
Sure.
Because I'll explain why when we talk to him. Hopefully he shows up. I've been thinking about questions or what I'm going to say or what I'm going to ask or what I want to ask, and I don't really have anything else to talk about today. So,
well, I'm pretty sure he's going to show up because I literally texted with him last night after I talked to you, and he's like, "Yep, got the link, ready to go." I was like, "Okay, cool." So, but yeah, dude, I'm still amazed that he's a fan. Like he was following my other show, Classic Metal Show, and I was stunned because, quite honestly, we beat up on his partner Eddie Trunk a lot on that show. I mean, we give Eddie a pretty good beating pretty regularly, and quite honestly, so he hit us up and was like, he heard us talking on CMS about wanting to get Anthony Cumia on the show. And so he hit me up and he just was like, hey, if you guys need help getting Anthony on the show, let me help out. I know Anthony, I could probably make that go. And I was like, okay, cool, right? And quite honestly, I had a phone call with Neely. I was like, clearly we're being punked here, right? I thought for sure there was some kind of setup to, like Eddie Trunk going like in a roundabout way to get us or something. I really did. I couldn't imagine that Jim Florentine was a fan of my dumbness. But it turned out that he is. He listens to the CMS pretty regularly, and and through that and through him, he one night he just texted me out of the blue and said, "Hey, I'm driving from Orlando to Miami or somewhere in Florida. How about if I call in?" And he called in and did like an hour with us, just hanging out. And
That's cool.
He's great, man. He's really great. And I know people are going to think because he's coming on the show, I'm saying this. His podcast is the best podcast on the web today. It's just the best one. Yeah,
I was listening some of it last night. I was like, hell yeah, dude. He's fucking funny, man.
Dude, everything he said. And I'm going to tell him this too. His show literally is making me change how I do things. Because I hear him break it down. I'm like, I can't say that anymore. I can't do that anymore. Like one of the things that he says that he just punishes is somebody saying, "All good, bro." I do that all the time. So now I start doing it. I'm like, "Hey man, it's good. It's good." I'm like stumbling over myself not to say it. And then like some of the songs that he picks on, when he picks on the songs and breaks down the words to him and stuff, I'm like, yeah, why do I like that song?
If nothing else, I'm just going to start stealing from him because he does good content.
He does. It's great.
So, I mean, I'm looking forward to having him. Hopefully 4:30-ish is when he's going to.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. I don't know if Tony's coming on today or not, whatever. He's in Arizona, so what the hell is he going to he's playing golf, having a good time. So.
Yeah.
So before the show, I was, of course, on Facebook scrolling around, yelling at people, and stumbled across somebody that said that ChatGPT predicted the next 75 Super Bowl champs.
75?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty good prediction considering that like 90% of those players aren't even born yet.
And I will tell you that the Browns
have none.
Are going to win
none.
Three Super Bowls in a row. They're going to be a three-peater, according to ChatGPT.
Will that happen in our lifetime?
No.
The
years are... So get ready.
All right.
Maybe freeze your brain or do something. Pull a Ted Williams and do a little...
Freeze the head.
Freezing yourself. 2069, 70, and 71.
Oh, good.
So, let's see here. Carry the one. What are we looking at? About 50 years? Just under?
So my kids will be middle-aged.
Oh, yeah. My daughter will be, she'll be in her 70s.
Yeah.
About 70. So she could see a winner.
Yeah, she could.
You and I are fucked, dude.
Yeah, we're
done. But then again, if they win in the next 3 years, you and I could be fucked.
Yeah, that is true, too. If they win this year, we might not see it. Who knows?
According to ChatGPT, 2069, 70, and 71, the Browns will three-peat as Super Bowl champs.
Okay.
Bob's going to be 104. But we have a shot. Yeah. Most of us.
Do we have to leave it in our will now that if the Browns win a championship, come out and tell me at my gravestone? I want to know.
But doesn't it make you not want to buy tickets, though? I mean, if ChatGPT said so, we're fucked.
Well, I got news for you. There's reasons other than ChatGPT that are making me not want to buy tickets. Mainly supporting the Haslams.
All right, dude, I'm kind of getting old and tired of this stuff, dude. Like everybody's bitching about the Browns moving to Brook Park or whatever, and they're having this big court battle now and all this kind of stuff. And the mayor who's more worried about protecting fucking illegals in his town than his own citizens, is going to worry about the Browns moving to Brook Park. I mean, we're talking about across a fucking block. Like literally across the block is Cleveland proper, and you know, got Brook Park, and it gets so old hearing about. They put out a memo saying, "Hey, look, the Browns, you know, deserve a new stadium." Well, they do. I'm sorry, they're an NFL fucking football team, and they may not be very good, but they're still an NFL team, and you got to keep up with the rest of the NFL.
They do deserve is the right word.
No, they do. And you know what? You know who else is a part of the Browns? The fans. The fans are as much part of that organization as the team or the owners or the coaches or whatever, because the fans are the one paying for those tickets. Absolutely, I think the fans deserve a new stadium. Of course, we start talking about the shitty old Browns, and John Drake has to chime in.
But he's chiming in the right way. He's not renewing his season tickets.
Why not?
Because they were 3-14.
He's not a fan. That is an obvious not a fan right there. How do you call yourself a fan, John, if you don't buy your season tickets? You don't re-up.
Forget
Be
that.
a fan. Have some faith.
How about prove your worth? If you bought tires, if you went to Walmart and bought tires and only 3 of them stayed inflated, would you go back to Walmart and buy more tires? Or would you buy them somewhere else?
I know that if I'm going to Walmart, I'm going to get a certain kind of tire, and most likely they aren't going to last as long. You live in Cleveland. You understand that once you move here and you live here, that your teams are most likely going to fucking suck.
Nope.
All right?
You see, you can't say that anymore.
What do you mean?
You got the Cavs on the verge of the first seed in the playoffs.
The Cavs. You lost 4 in a row.
You got the Indians as a borderline contender every single year. You got the Crunch going for the finals. You got 3 teams that are all capable of winning it all.
The Guardians
and the Browns.
The Guardians have no shot in winning, and you know that. They never do. Then the Cavs, they lost 4 in a row on the West Coast. They're going to get bounced.
Did they lose last night?
No. But they played a shitty
won
team.
Last night? Yeah, I don't even know they play. I know they were out.
They played Portland.
What was I watching? I was watching some baseball yesterday. And I was watching it was like Dodgers and I don't know who they were playing, but I was just bored out of my skull and I just put the Dodgers on preseason baseball. Man, I look at that and then I think about the Guardians and I'm like, these are not in the same universe the same. You know, seeing Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts back to back to back. Right. Jesus.
I couldn't even name half the roster for the Guardians.
I only know what's his name, Ramirez.
Look, John's going to pick on me because I got one leg. I mean, that's fucking, I don't know, what do you call that? He's an amputeeist.
Phobe.
He's an amputophobe.
Yeah. Ampuphobe.
Ampuphobe, dick.
See, that's the point. And John's hitting it dead on the head. I'm with John. $420 a month to see the fucking Browns? Fuck you.
I have to say, I think I paid $1,700 when I got season tickets one, and it was for 2 tickets. It was like section 117, so they're decent seats.
Well, John's in the dog pound. And John has really good seats, I will say that.
But he's not
I guess he could take shittier seats.
He's not a fan.
He's enough of a makes enough money. He's a 20-year season ticket holder. That's pretty much a fan.
Pay for his fucking tickets, so why don't you go out there and root for your team?
Watch them on TV.
And look, I know that you have your thing with the Crunch, and I'm hoping that they win and everything else. But until you tell me that they won, I will not know that they won.
Well, there is that.
There won't be a radio station or a TV station that will talk about it.
There is that. Believe me, I'm with you on that.
So I'm going to have to, listen to you for the update on whether the Crunch wins or not. And the Cavs, I'm telling you, they peaked. And now they're going to go downhill, and they're going to get probably bounced in the second round of the playoffs.
See, second round, they'll win the first round. They'll give us false hope. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to win at all.
You know how I know this? Because I live in Cleveland. So that's my point. You have to expect mediocre football. Like the other day, I watched somebody posted on fucking Facebook. They put the John Elway Drive up there, and I sat there and I watched like all fucking 12 minutes or whatever they showed up.
Right.
And it was the most depressing thing known to man. And that can only happen here. I mean, seriously, dude, the guy took the ball from like the 2-yard line and drove the length of the field, supposedly with a decent defense that we had, and we blew it.
I don't
And
know.
that
There's
always can
other
happen.
teams. There's
Oh,
other teams that have their drama too, dude. How
Like
about
who?
what was it? Was it Houston or Tennessee or whatever they were at the time when the guy got tackled at the 1 inch line in the Super Bowl?
Okay.
Lost the Super Bowl by 1 inch?
They made it to the Super Bowl, didn't they?
Yeah, but that's worse than that's got to burn. What about the Bills? The Bills made it to the Super Bowl 3 times in a row and lost.
Okay, I understand, but I still
Still haven't won.
They made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
We
anything.
didn't even skip the Super Bowl.
If we
So we
make
have
it
a
to the Super Bowl and lose 10 times, that's not going to feel any better than we do now.
And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, these championship games that we won back in the day, back before you and I were born, we weren't even a fucking sperm in the testes.
Oh, I
of
don't
our dad
count
yet.
those.
I mean, how do you count that? And then on top of it, I don't like it because we had a fucking guy who likes to beat women and throw them off of balconies as our running back. Oh, the greatest player of all time likes to beat women. Fuck him.
He liked hitting stuff.
He did.
Other players, women,
Other players, women, yeah,
probably cars.
whatever.
The man knew how to throw a shoulder and a punch.
Oh, yeah. He had a lot of practice at home.
That's right.
Why do you think he was such a good running back, running from the fucking cops after he hit his wife?
Probably would have knocked out Ali if you fought him. Knew how to throw a punch.
Absolutely.
All I know is his wife should have dinner on the table. That's it.
Yeah, I was going to say, what the hell she do?
She didn't make dinner on time. My goddamn practice ends at 6:30.
How does the joke go? What do you tell a woman with 2 black eyes? Nothing. You done told her twice.
Yeah, that's right. Too funny.
I don't know what your team is. What's your team, Cody? Maybe he said it already.
That would be Giant? No. 28-3. Was that Atlanta? I think that was it. Was that Atlanta that lost to the Patriots, maybe?
That's how you know they're not a real fan, true fan, Seth. A real fan can't watch that shit, especially
Carlos's field goal. Are we really going to argue if a kick was good or not 35 years later, John?
it's depressing. It's depressing living in this town. But again, you know what's going to happen. You know it's going to be mediocre football, but you pay for the experience of going to a game. And I'd much rather go to a nice game inside of a dome that's going to be state-of-the-art facilities, probably great, concessions and all kind of different shit to do and eat, and a neighborhood that's going to be fun, and they're going to build hotels, restaurants, and shopping around it. I'd much rather go to a game there than go to that shithole downtown where it's not safe at all. Hell, I'll take it in Brook Park as it is now. Put it in Brook Park now and give me a couple of strip clubs to go to after the game. I'm happier than if I have to go downtown.
Give me a pizza and a remote control. That's all I need. Because I sure ain't going to give the Browns any money. If that makes me not a fan, so be it. I ain't giving them a penny.
And you know what? I'd rather go to, I don't know, Cleveland Browns Stadium in the Dome to see Metallica or some shit like that than to have to drive to Detroit to go see them.
Now that I agree with. That I do agree with. But again, that's stupid. If you want to see concerts in Cleveland again, it has nothing to do with if we have a dome or not. It has everything to do with that fucking guy Danny Wimmer that keeps booking everything in Columbus and then saying that nobody can play within 100 miles of it.
It's a joke, man. It's a joke.
It's terrible. The concert scene here is unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me that here in Cleveland we can't get a good show.
Well, it would happen because we used to get them all. I know you're going to say that it's this contract bullshit, but I mean,
it is
just it. I mean, concerts used to come here all the time, dude. I mean, when I worked at MMS and you worked at MMS, there were concerts everywhere. I mean, one of the reasons we love being downtown, I would stay downtown.
Sure.
And just sit in the studio because you could just go to a concert over the.
No. Well, I mean,
back then and
dude, a huge part of it is the Wimmer stuff, but the other part of it too is that it's just not convenient to go downtown. Look at how many great shows go to Blossom. It's a terrible venue, but it's a terrible venue for us, but for bands, it's a great venue. It's convenient, it's easy. It certainly has a nicer backstage area than Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Or what? I'm sorry, Rocket Arena.
Rocket Arena.
Whatever it's called today. It's, it's been 2 weeks, time to change the name again. I mean, it's it's just a more convenient place. Cleveland's not convenient anymore. Plus, who wants to go? I'm surprised as many bands go to Detroit as do, because that's a dangerous area.
It's a dangerous area. It's a nicer stadium, though.
It is a nice stadium. I went there for Metallica and Pantera year and a half ago.
Last concert I did see one concert up there. I saw Audio Slave.
Okay. At Ford Field?
No, it was at the Fox Theater or something like that.
Okay.
It was like right across from like the field and everything.
Yeah.
It was really cool, dude. I mean, it was a great. I mean, they have some good venues up there. Here we used to. The Odeon was a fun venue to go to.
What? I don't know why that place never.
But it was,
why did it pick up? Why didn't it pick up when they reopened? Did they just book bad shows or something?
Maybe they booked bad. Plus, there's nothing else to do down there. What else you got to do?
Yeah, that's true. But I loved the Odeon. The Odeon was fun. I mean, if you got in 3 minutes before a show started, the Odeon, and you had to stand in the very back because it was packed,
you could still see.
It was still great.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't that you could still see. You still were within about 30 feet of the 40 feet of the stage. It was great. I love the Odeon. I loved Peabody's.
That was all right.
Peabody's was fine. You know, everything was good. I loved going out to Billy's clubs when Billy had the Revolution and when Billy had the Hi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I like that. I even like the Winchester sometimes. I don't like it as much anymore, but
I've never been there, but
Winchester's a pretty good place to see a show. The only problem with the Winchester is like the band is standing on the floor and so are you. I think the riser's like 2 inches high.
How did Billy fuck up those clubs?
I don't think he fucked them up. I think he sold them. I know he sold the Hi-Fi to that girl, to that lady. And Revolution, I think he sold Revolution because that was when he was in warrant. So he wasn't around enough to run it right, and it was, you know, getting crazy. I could tell you some crazy stories about the Revolution. Oh, boy. Get a lot of people in trouble telling those stories.
Really?
Dude, there was one night in particular, I was whipping out 20s and saying, all right, ladies, you take off your top and dive into that melted ice tub. And you start making out with her. And I mean, now you finger bang her. I mean, I was just like throwing money. And there are a lot of people that me and you both know that were at this night.
Yeah, I could tell some stories about one of the, I'm not even going to say the name of the club, but there's a pretty big club in town. But I've seen some pictures in the basement of that joint.
Sure.
Of like rock stars, like some really big stars, dude. Especially, you know, my era stars.
Sure.
Doing some fucking shit in the basement of the.
Oh yeah.
They might go to jail for. Well, I know. I'm pretty sure they would definitely go to jail for. Some of the stuff that I saw pictures of, I'm like, holy shit. I remember this one guy took me down into the basement of this place, and he goes, all right, dude, whatever you see in here is going to be locked in your brain for the rest of your life.
Right.
I was like, come on, man. I can't not tell this story on the air sometime in my life. It's like, never. I said, okay.
See, I tell all mine. I don't care. I just don't care. I'll leave people's name. I'll leave the alleged innocent out sometimes, but.
Yeah, my problem is, you know, we still know the owner of this club. And
okay.
And so, you know, I don't want to. It's
sure, you don't want to trash them.
It's an open place, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Well, it's hard to prove it now. 35 years, it's just shooting shit. But, yeah, one of my favorite memories ever at the Revolution was, I don't know, did you ever meet Billy's first wife?
No.
Not Leah, but the one that, she was 14 sides of crazy.
Really?
She was hot, but she was fucking nuts. And I remember one night Billy used to do this heavy metal karaoke where like it was him and his band would play live and then you could get up and sing, you know, and it was like you were in the band, man. And Matt and I used to be the sponsor of it. Like it was kind of like the Metal Show presents heavy metal karaoke.
Yeah.
So we were in there one night and there was just nobody wanted to sing. So Billy sent her over to me to get me to sing. And I was like, I'm just not feeling it. I hadn't been drinking or nothing. I was just kind of there. And Billy and his chick's like, come on, you could get up here and sing. Go up here and sing. Billy needs the help. I was like, nah, I don't think so. And she goes, what about if I fucking rub my tits all over your face? Will you do it then? And I was like, yeah. And right there in the club, not like in the back room or anything, literally in the club, she pulled up her shirt and stuck her tits in my face.
How did
I was
Billy
like,
feel about that one?
he didn't care. Billy didn't care. I think he was on his way to getting divorced before he fucking walked down the aisle.
Really?
That did not seem like a good marriage from day one. But yeah, she was all kinds of nuts. Oh yeah, Leah's the best. Leah needs to be cloned and give that sister to me.
On top of that, she's richer than he is.
Yes,
More money than
that's what I mean. You want to talk about checking all the boxes? Entrepreneur, making shit tons of money. Building $1 million pools all over the place.
I know.
Does all the work so Billy doesn't have to, scratch his guitar playing hands or whatever. She does all the grind work, all the woodwork and construction and shit on all this places.
Fucking crazy, dude.
And Billy and Billy just shows up. Billy better never blow that one. Holy cow.
Still doing the food truck thing. And
Yeah.
although I saw a post from, I think, his partner. I was not a happy camper, but I don't want to start a fight with him. I'm starting to fight with fucking everybody still.
Well, Todd is out. Todd's not part of the food truck
really?
anymore. So you could start a fight with him.
All right, yeah. Well, isn't he still doing this tough thing with Billy?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
But yeah. I was not a fan of one of his posts today, but again, I'm trying to back off, man. I'm trying. Like Bob France, we got hopefully Jim Florentine coming up shortly, but
Yeah, he'll be on.
Bob France was scrolling through Facebook or whatever, and he saw me. There was a post the other day from Cleveland.com. I
Yeah.
think it was yesterday, talking about a new bill that's supposed to tell schools that they have to call the kids by their actual names and their actual pronouns, listed on their birth certificate and everything else. So if you were born a boy, your pronouns are he and him,
Right.
which should be fucking common sense in this country, but apparently it's not. And so there's a bill out there to force schools into doing that. And of course, it's a Cleveland.com post, so every lefty known to man is out there. And of course, I make a comment just saying, what the hell is wrong with you people?
Right.
I mean, like, why are we confusing children? Why are we doing this to our youth? It's a fad. Get over it. Not every child now is transgender, for fuck's sake. And then, of course, I got all the lefties that are bashing the hell out of me and everything else.
Whatever.
Bob France saw it and jumped in and said something. And then he asked me about it. He's like, well, did you read the article? No. He's like, so you're telling me that you're one of those people that just sees the headline and starts commenting? I was like, well, yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Everything's in the headline.
Yeah, why would I read it, for God's sakes?
Like, something I want to talk about after, we talked to Jim is
Yeah.
another article that I got sucked into and just got the shit kicked out of me. And I don't understand why I got the shit kicked out of me. Apparently in Cleveland Heights, there was a rainbow flag crosswalk.
Okay.
And somebody vandalized it.
Okay.
And so the left is all upset. And all I
They're
said
fine,
was,
but they're fine when people are blowing up Tesla buildings.
so that's kind
cars.
of what I said. I said something to the effect of that, and then I said, I don't get why we can't just have regular crosswalks. Like, what do you need a rainbow flag crosswalk for?
You gotta make everybody feel safe, Seth. Everybody needs their safety plate, their safe space.
Do I get an amputee crosswalk? I mean, I should get an extra crosswalk that's super duper slow on the traffic signal because I can't get across as fast as you.
Well, you get a special parking space.
Well, I want a special crosswalk too. If the gays get it, then so do I. And I don't care what you are. I don't care for fucking whoever you're fucking. I don't care for fucking dogs, dude. But you don't need a special crosswalk.
Look at Natalie. Okay, Chris, we need to hear you sing. I am a tremendous singer, thank you. I'm as good a singer as any karaoke bar has ever had. I actually do sing okay. I've said it all the time. I'm a really good karaoke singer, but not good enough to be in a real band. And then John always hits me back and is like, oh, if you could sing in karaoke, you could do it in a real band. I'm like, ugh. Then I'd have to do band stuff like practice. I'm not doing that.
I sang karaoke one time, dude. I'm not a singer or a dancer, dude. I wish I was. I wish I had any kind of rhythm or talent. I mean, I could play I played music like in band, like
Sure.
I played saxophone and hit the drums a few times and stuff like that. But I'm not a musically trained individual.
Okay.
Nor can I sing. But I want to dance. I wanted to be able to like dance cool and sing and shit. I can't, and I'm just I'm good at literally nothing. I can't even put on a girdle right, dude. Let's just be straight.
Did you try again?
I have tried again. It did not work. But the only time I ever sang karaoke was I did New Kids on the Block at a fucking bar.
Okay.
And that was back when I used to drink these foo drinks, dude. I used to drink blue drinks and margaritas and shit. So I was basically a chick, dude, sitting at a bar singing New Kids on the Block, drinking margaritas. It was just fucking dumb, but I'm just not good at that.
Dude, I karaoke. I'll do karaoke all the time. Drives my friends crazy because sometimes I'll do like crazy songs that I just can't do, but I don't care. Why not? Well, there we go. There's Jim Florentine. Look at that.
One topic is off limits. I do not want to talk about the girdle thing.
Oh, no, we're talking about that.
We don't have to talk about the girdle thing. All right.
You want to play a spot and then bring him on?
Let's probably take a break real quick and then.
Okay. All right. Well, hang tight.
You got it. Because
I'll play it. We'll play one quick spot and then we will bring on the great Jim Florentine. So hang tight, everybody. We'll be back.
When disaster strikes, we come together. Here at Mario's Barbershop, we've turned our passion into purpose. As Hands to America, a 501c3 nonprofit, we're on the ground helping those hit by hurricanes, floods, fires, and tornadoes right here in northeastern Ohio and nationwide. But we can't do it alone. We need your help to keep this vital work going. Your donations, whether it's cash or vehicles, can bring hope to those who've lost so much. Join us in making a real impact. Every donation fuels relief efforts and helps rebuild lives. Call us at 844-864-2637 or locally at 216-520-1977 or visit us at handstoamerica.org to see how you can help.
And right back here on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Aiken. Sorry for leaning in. I can't fucking see a goddamn thing today. So I'm trying to see like the texts that are coming in, and they're coming in fast and furious, but I can't see anything. So I'm going to attempt to bring on Jim Florentine if I can see him at the bottom of the screen. The great Jim Florentine joins us now. How are you, sir?
What's going on? My picture's all fucked up. What's up?
All right, so I know Chris is your friend and stuff like that, but I got to say that I admit that I'm kind of fanboying out a little bit. Like I'm slightly gay for you right now because just the way that I am. Like literally, I became a functioning alcoholic because of you.
Well, like I always say, it's never a hot chick that's fanboying. Never. Well, like if I was a gay dude, I'd have AIDS 15 times already.
My wife and I used to sit up at night, literally watch that metal show, just fucking drinking until we passed out. I mean, it was like the greatest time of my life. It was years that I'll never get back, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thanks for coming on today, man.
No, I appreciate it. You need to be fucked up to watch it, the way it was shot and the way the edits and the cuts and all that.
All right, Jim, I'm gonna start this off by attacking my partner Seth here, and maybe not. Maybe you'll say this is a good thing.
Come on, dude.
He bought this man girdle to try and hide his man tits. Gay or not gay?
I don't know. Well, if it's not seen, see, it's under his shirt, so no one knows he has it.
Look, the ad says women can push them up, men should be able to push them down. And so I want to be able to push. I'm pushing like 320 maybe. And so I want to be able to push down the tits, suck in the belly a little bit, and look a little bit better for women, I guess.
Yeah, look, if it's underneath his clothing and no one knows, I get it. Look, if there was a thing where my bulge could look bigger, I would buy it. So, and I would stick it in there, and I'm like, oh, this is good. And maybe some chick in the front row sees it, and she wants to talk to me afterwards. But yeah, so I would be self-conscious if I had big man tits too. But I don't know if I would buy that.
No.
I saw it on Amazon for like $20, and so I had to go for it. And I can't get.
Yeah, they also sell dildos that you can get pegged with for $20 on Amazon.
I bought those too, but
I figured.
Well, Jim, as you know, I am a huge fan of your podcast, and I tell it on every single show that I do. I talk about your podcast, man. It just makes me laugh every single week because you are like all the rest of us. You hate everything, and you realize that everything sucks. So talk a little bit about your podcast and talk about if there's anything that you do like.
Well, that's why I told you when we connected a few months back, that's why I got turned on to you guys, you and Neely. I found you guys on YouTube. I'm like, these guys hate everything. They're fucking complaining. They're trashing everything. I'm like, this is great. Because you don't find that programming. You really don't. Everyone's trying to be nice on podcast. Everyone's nice, a little light ribbing. No one really takes a chance on calling anybody out. So, yeah, my podcast is basically the fans will, if they know stuff that I hate, and they'll send emails and go, I'm sure you're going to hate this, and I just comment on it.
Right.
So mostly everything on social media, pretty much.
But you know what it does is it makes me realize what a faggot I am a lot of the time. I mean, half the time you're like, oh, listen to this fucking song, and you'll be like playing a song. I'll be like, I kind of like that song, and then you'll break it down. Why did he say this? Why? And I'm just like, oh my God.
Well, look, some of those lyrics from the 80s are silly. And if we broke down the metal lyrics from the 80s, they'd be silly too. So it's easy for me to pick apart. No, some of those songs I don't, I used to like back in the day.
Sure.
I was a DJ at that time in the 80s, and I was, DJing weddings and in a club and shit like that. So I had to play that stuff. And it was MTV at that time. So whatever was on there, you were fascinated by.
Mm-hmm. And then, but now when you listen, like, I know one of the bands that we like to pick on CMS is Loverboy. And not necessarily because the songs are bad, but it just always sounds like Mike Reno's just about to cry. He's always like, when you look into his eyes, it comes to you as no. So it's like, shut up, you fag. He always sounds so whiny.
Yeah. There's actually a couple, like, I got to admit, there's like a Take Me to the Top, and there was one other one I didn't mind by Loverboy.
Right. But then all the rest are just like, ugh.
Hot Girls in Love. I don't know. For some reason, I didn't mind that. I don't know why. But yeah, it's embarrassing. It's like having a man titty belt. I just admitted I like 2 Loverboy songs.
All right, going back to calling people out a little bit. I don't want to sit here and be the typical dude asking about fucking Robin Quivers and stuff like that. But Howard Stern, you did him show a lot. The guy's fucking changed. And do you think he's changed? Do you think he's a fucking douche compared to what he used to be?
He's older and he's changed. Chris, when we were talking when I first came on, you were saying, how come you were never around with all those guys like Norton and Voss and Bobby? And I forgot to say, I went on the Howard Stern show, and Jim Norton, we were living together, we were roommates at the time, went on Opie Anthony, and it was a huge rival. You could only do one of the other shows. You couldn't do both. So I chose Stern. Stern took a liking to me, so I just went that route, and I went on there for about 10 years. So I missed the glory days of O&A, but I just couldn't go on that show at that time. I go, okay, I'm going on this side. So, and then when, the show changed and Artie left, and they were kind of like PC, then I started going over to Opie and Anthony towards the end, and Opie and Jim and all that stuff. But look, some people just change when they get older. I've never changed. Like, I've been the same dude since I was like 22. So I like the same bands. I like the same humor. I haven't grown up. I haven't evolved as a human being, and I like it.
Because I
think it's overrated.
I listen to Howard on occasion these days, and it's not the same as it used to be, but it always going on this, I'm not going to talk politics bullshit, and when he does, all he does is bash one side, obviously. But it's just him, like you did Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's another one that I find completely fucking repulsive these days.
Jimmy's a guy that I've known for years because I did Crank Anchors with him. It was Jimmy's show. It was Jimmy and Adam. So I've known Jimmy forever. We used to hang out in Vegas, do the calls there and shit like that. Yeah, I mean, look, I think when you get part in that system and you hang out with famous friends, you kind of have to toe the line with that stuff. I never did. I go on Gutfeld's show on Fox, and a lot of comics wouldn't go on in 2016. They all knew Greg Gutfeld because there was a show called Red Eye. He would do it 3 a.m, and all New York comics would do it. And once Trump became in office in 2016, I was like, don't go on Fox News. You're going to ruin your career. I go, I've known Greg for 10 years. I'm not just going to turn my back on him.
Are you a Trump fan, or what do you think about the country?
Look, the nonsense needed to stop. So it's good. I always tell people, I go, look, they had 4 years, the last 4 years to do their nonsense. Now the Republicans do their nonsense for 4 years. And you come somewhere in the middle.
Right on.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I like money, and I like to, not pay 50% of my fucking taxes. I'm out there still busting my ass, and fucking I'm paying for people to stay home. So that annoys me. So I lean conservative, definitely.
Right on. Dude, what do you think? And this is one that I will say, because I know you know this guy. If you want to dodge it, dodge it. What do you think of Burr these days? Because, man, that dude has taken the hard left. The hard, he went from being so edgy to just licking the corporate balls, really.
One thing about Bill, he always takes the opposite angle on things. Like, he never takes the easy take, so he'll always go opposite. So that he's always been like that. I watched his last special, and it's really good. Like, he says the word faggot in the special. Right. He's making fun of gay people and shit like that. So in his special, he's not really, there's a couple bits in there he does, but he does like to ride, both sides and stuff. He's got a little, you want to get publicity now, you got to say shocking shit. And he's all over the place. His special was coming out on Hulu. He's not on Netflix anymore. So, he knows. So I say outrageous shit. Half the people are going to like. I don't think he's lost any fans over it. Like, he's still going to sell out arenas. I don't think there's going to be 6,000 people instead of 17,000.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think we've gotten out of that cancel culture kind of mode? I mean, back, a few years ago, everybody was canceled for being, if they were a comic. You think we're kind of moving away from that? You can kind of say what you want now?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's at that point. It got so crazy that even the liberals were getting canceled and like, hey, we're just because I said this, I was like, yeah, well, you guys started this shit. It's all because of you. You guys started it, and now it affected you, and now you have a problem with it.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that what ended up happening, at least in my opinion, just as somebody that goes to comedy shows, the ones that stayed edgy grew. The ones that didn't, the ones that conformed, where are they now? You're not hearing about any of them anymore. And people that you heard of even like 2 years ago, where are they now?
Yeah, I've never been that. I remember years ago, this comic's like, hey, man, I have an agent. He says, don't be edgy anymore. That's not what the industry wants. I'm like, fuck. I go, you're going to listen to him? Who gives a fuck? Talk about what you think is funny. And that guy never went anywhere. He's still just floundering. It's just like, just do what you think is funny and just stick the course and see what happens. Who knows? Maybe something doesn't happen, but I'm not gonna sell out to just to try to meet them in the middle. Because you try to meet anyone in the middle, you're just going to be mediocre.
You ever been in front of an audience that was pissed off at what you were saying?
Oh yeah, constantly.
Every week.
Yeah. Especially in New York. I love going to clubs. Like, I'm in New York City this weekend. The crowds are between like 22 and 30. They have no idea who I am, which is good because then you know if the jokes are going to work. Because you perform in front of your audience, they give you a lot of leeway. Right. So I like doing that, and then also trying to relate to kids from 22 to 30. And sometimes, you piss them off. I go too far, but I like riding that line and seeing how far I can get away with it. But it's a good exercise to do for me.
Sure. Did you, I guess now it's probably not the same, but even again, 2 years ago or so, did you find any problems with club owners not wanting or trying to guide you a little bit and say, hey, this is, we're not going to talk politics, or we're only going to talk this level of politics, and we don't want this on our stages?
I never ran into it because once you're the headliner, you could pretty much do anything. Okay. But if you're the first act, the MC, or the feature act, they'll tell you, hey, don't curse, don't whatever, be dirty. But once you get to the headline, you can pretty much do what you want. But I know that I went in clubs afterwards, and someone was talking politics. You know, some liberal on stage in Florida, and the crowd's booing them and walking out and shit. So I don't talk about politics on stage, but
Right.
Once you're the headliner, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Right on. Go ahead, Seth.
What's it like doing Gutfeld? I mean, it's a show I watch literally every single night. Is it? I'm assuming it's taped. Probably after he does like the 5. I'm assuming, but is it fun to be there? Is it a good atmosphere?
It's great. Greg's he tapes right after the 5 at 5 to 6 at 6:05. We tape Gutfeld, and it airs at 10 that night. And you tape it to time, so he takes basically an hour with the commercial breaks, whatever. So it's not that much editing for him and stuff. No, Gutfeld's a great guy. Like I love it because he's awkward, and his humor's really dry, and he loves to bust balls, and he could take it too if you want to bust his balls. And it's amazing the audience that he has. It's insane how many people watch that show. Which is funny, Chris. I get a bunch of band when I was on the Monster Rock cruise. Right. A lot of band members like, man, we see young Gutfeld. We got to keep it quiet, but we're secret. You know, I'm like, oh, good, you're one of us. He's like, yeah, we're one of us. I'm like, nice.
Because I was going to say that seems to be there's a shift in the country that's going on right now because Gutfeld is beating guys like Colbert and guys that are been notoriously number one for at least the past few years. And so there seems to be a shift in the country. Do you notice that as you travel?
Yeah, I think. You had to be quiet if you were Republican for a long time, and then all the nonsense between 2020 and 2024, you're just like, yeah, too bad. And everyone started coming out. It was almost like like gay people coming out of the closet. They were coming out of the closet for Trump, and you were allowed to say it, and people weren't going to get mad. And now teams are going to the White House. Oh, sure, I'll definitely go to the White House. Before they wouldn't. Right. So. It's a good. It's like I have probably 30% of my friends are extreme liberals and 70% are conservatives. I hang out with all of them. I don't care. We just don't talk politics. I got no problem whatever your politics are. I really don't.
That's what bothers me is that Hollywood seems to be this fucking liberal love fest, and they don't realize that half at least of their customers are people like me who want to vote for Trump or want to, but they still want to go out and see a good movie. I'll never spend another fucking nickel on a Robert De Niro movie no matter what. I mean, and it shows in the box office. Snow White, Robert De Niro's movie, they fucking bomb because they're woke.
No, I know. It's just that, can you imagine like Robert De Niro's in a new mob movie and I don't know anyone that saw it and completely tanked?
Yeah.
Did $3 million. I'm sure he made more than $3 million.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, I have a theory about these guys like Alec Baldwin, Robert De Niro. There's a few other guys from New York. They actually think because Trump got in office that they could have been. They were big time guys in New York City, and they're like, hey, man, if that guy could have done it, I could have went that route. So they're jealous of him. That's why they hate him so much. But meanwhile, the thing with Hollywood is if tomorrow the head guy in Hollywood was a Republican, they would all turn Republican. They'll just do whatever they need to do. The whole Hollywood become Republican. All of a sudden, that was cool to do, and it switched. And everyone was like, yeah, build the wall, all that shit. So they're all phonies out there. Mm-hmm. But listen, when you go on Twitter and you put Trump's, stepping on the Constitution, he's ruining our country. Oh my God, what are we going to do for the next 4 years? You'll get rolls when casting directors see those tweets and see that shit that you put on social media. So that's why they do it.
Yeah, but why will they get roles when then it turns around and the movies don't make any money?
Well, because then what now they're doing is they're trying to take all the woke shit out. They're trying to just make it like just a regular series with there's not a tranny, there's not a gay couple,
right?
All that stuff. They're trying to, so they're trying to do that because they realize nobody's watching that stuff. Like that show Reacher on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much just a straightforward kicking ass, almost like an 80s Schwarzenegger just beating people up, being a wise ass. Like there's no woke shit in that. And he bangs one of the chicks every season, which is great.
Right. Here's a comment that somebody gave for you, man. Tell Florentine that his idea about a documentary about Genesis breaking up and the solo shit from Destroying Music is one of the greatest things he's ever said.
I should fund that. I'll go to Phil Collins. I'll buy him a new chair so he can sit in. And I just want to go. My first question: what the fuck were you thinking about with Susu Studio? Explain yourself.
Yeah, he has a lot of those. Take me home. I don't remember. It's like awful.
And you know what? He always tried to be funny in the videos, like he would sing out of the drumsticks instead of the microphone. Oh, that's hilarious.
See, I'm the fag with the girdle, man. I kind of like that stuff. Sorry.
Come on. Which ones do you like?
Both you just mentioned. I kind of dig them both. Come on.
Studio?
Yeah, come on. What's wrong with that song?
You really?
Saxophone as a kid, dude. You know, some shit like that in there.
Easy Lover?
Love it.
Stop it. Come on.
Every song that I can suck a dick to, I guess, is what I like.
It's funny how people took that the wrong way. I get emails like, "Hey, dude, I'm sorry, I'm not sucking any dick, so I'm not, gonna play along with this." I go, "No, I'm not saying you're gonna suck a dick. I'm just saying if you had to, and you need a song to put you in the mood to suck your first dick to, what song would it be? Would this fit the criteria?"
All I know is I sent you one that has to be the all-time winner.
No, that was bad. I'm going to save that one for part 3. I never heard that version or saw that.
I never knew it had a video. I looked it up because I wanted to send it to you, and I saw that it had a music video. I was like, you got to be kidding me. They funded this? Dude, speaking of that, I make no bones about it. I sent you a segment that me and Neely did a couple weeks ago, and it's 1000% inspired by your podcast. It was absolutely, that is where the idea came from. I just had a specific idea. What did you think? I know you said you were going to watch or listen to it. Did you listen to it? And
I loved it. It was great. Like, it was funny because when Neely was first listening, he's like, she's trying to make a joke there, I guess. You're like, no, but it's terrible. Like, so he'll get into it at some point, but he was like, yeah, all right, I guess I see what they're doing. Like, no, and you're like, no, it's awful.
Right.
So,
Seth,
no, it's great. Look, anyone that could call out shit on social media, just dumb shit that people post, the more the better. The more the better.
Seth, you probably hate this segment, but it's called, what is it called?
Just so you have a bumper for it is great.
I know. I made the video and everything was with the gay guy sitting on the couch. It's online. What is it? Online fans acting like faggots is what the segment is called. But and what it's based on is I just went into, and it's shocking. Jim, if you ever want to steal that one for your show, please do, because if you go into any band on Facebook, I don't care who they are. Most manly band you can think of, Metallica, Pantera, whoever, Cannibal Corpse. You go into their fan groups on Facebook, every goddamn post is just gayer than the next. It's all man love or just, I mean, you saw some of the stuff I was posting about.
Yeah.
God isn't as cool as John Petrucci. And it's like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Stop.
I really, I think these people, look, we're both huge, I'm not sure how you said, we're huge music fans and stuff like that, but I don't, at some point it's like, okay, just like the songs. Like I've never seen those Facebook groups, so I don't even know what's written in there, but yeah, it's embarrassing. It's like, yeah, of course, you could be a fan, you could bond with somebody, you could talk about the fucking inner workings of a rare Judas Priest record, but you don't need to go, how could you say Rob Halford's not God? It's like, come on, we're not fucking in high school anymore.
Yeah, I was a rock DJ on MMS here for over a decade.
Oh, you were?
I was, and now I'm into politics on radio.
When were you on MMS? What years?
90. I started as an intern in 98, and I was on there until almost 2010. Yeah.
So were you on what Alan Cox show and Rover and all that?
Oh yeah. I know Alan and I know Rover. I know them very well, actually. Yeah.
Do you know Chad Zumock? He was on.
I knew him when he crashed his car. Yes.
Yeah. He's a good friend of mine. He's a maniac.
He's always a good dude to me, man. But yeah. I think he handled that the wrong way there, man. Don't be driving that car like that. But yeah, he was a good dude.
Talk about a guy that takes a beating online. Oh boy.
Yeah, he takes a little bit of a.
He loves it. He loves just fighting with people. And the Rover show is huge in Cleveland. I used to go on a lot. I did a couple of those Rover Fests where they did comedy.
Yep.
and stuff.
I was
So
actually at those Riverfest, but they do a good job there. What do you think about the fucking music these days? Because Chris and I get in a fight all the time. Speaking of rock music, I'd say that rock music today sucks, and I wish we had music of the back in the day. And Chris says I'm just not looking in the right spots.
yeah, I mean it's not really out there some of the stuff, but I don't like Sleep. I don't like Ghost. I like the first Ghost record, but after that, I'm not into that. But I know that both of those bands are huge now. But like old school rock stuff. What the fuck is that band? Massive Wagons. Have you heard them from England?
I have, yeah.
They're not bad. I saw them on the Monster Rock Cruise live. I listened to the studio stuff. I'm like, but live they're a lot better. They were okay. So there are Midnight Cities, another band. I think they're out of Australia, kind of like an AC/DC sounding band.
So there's
But
some
it's-
weird shit out there.
It's tough to find. It really is because it's not on our radar. It's not. This shit's not popping up. So, I don't know. I don't really seek out new bands, but if something comes across, I like it. But I'm not looking for the next great new band. Like Dirty Honey. Obviously, I love those guys.
Sure.
They're always out there and stuff. And Greta Van Fleet got it kind of weird. I liked them in the beginning, but then they're kind of like, I don't know what the fuck they are now, like a jam band. But they draw young people to their shows, which is good.
Mm-hmm. I think now you have to have a chick out front. It just seems like that is the way of the modern era. Is if you don't have a chick out front, nobody cares.
Yeah, but I want to see Linkin Park with a fucking chick out front, dude. That's not Linkin Park to me. I mean, that's not the kind of music I dig. I don't know. I don't think the chick thing is the total way to go.
Yeah. They're still going to sell out stadiums when they'll probably tour in the summer, and they'll still sell out stadiums with the catalog they have, Linkin Park. So they could have got anybody.
Well, I was available.
Yeah.
I'll take that money.
I think it's easy to sell if Chester, obviously with Chester gone, that I got a girl lead singer instead of like a Chester, an unknown that sang in a Linkin Park cover band. I think it's easier to sell.
Sure, definitely. Dude, how come you haven't crossed into movies too much? I mean, you've got when I see some of the guys that have crossed into the movies, I'm like, you're way more talented and funny than like Kevin James or whatever. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, well, I did a couple little parts. I never played the game in Hollywood. That's the thing. Kevin didn't really either. Like he moved out there and he was like a jolly fat guy, almost like a watered down Ralph Cramden honeymooners type. So, but yeah, I mean, you had to go to Hollywood and play the game. I wasn't going to take it in the ass and I wasn't going to kiss ass. And that's what I would have had to do both.
Right. And what the fuck happened to Artie Lang? I mean, I know Beer League and stuff, but I mean, like, that guy destroyed himself.
Yeah, I was in Beer League. I was a catcher in Beer League. I was in a couple scenes. I did a couple of little things. I was in Trainwreck. I had a little part. I might be up for some big part in some series I can't talk about yet, but you never know. But Artie Lang, yeah, look, I hear he's sober. He's been sober like 6 years now. He's just laying low. He doesn't want to do anything. That's all I hear. He doesn't really talk to too many people, but he's clean and he's sober.
Thank God.
Well,
His face exploded. I mean, you got to do something at that point.
Yeah, I know. But I think he just, he's like, I don't even want to get tempted to go back out there, when you're on the road. I used to open for him all the time, do shows with him. And, even when he said, listen, I'm sober, I'm sober 32 days. And then people would come to the show knowing that and be handing him drugs.
Ugh.
Sending shots up on stage to him, beers, everything. They didn't give a fuck. They would give them to me to give to Artie, and I was like, yeah, and I would just throw them in the garbage. But they were always so Artie knows that's still out there. There's still scumbags that will do that.
Right. I think I know the answer to this one. I'll put this up though. Anyway, is Florentine going to be in the Eddie Trunk documentary?
Yeah, they interviewed me, Don, and him to talk about that metal show.
Okay.
So I know there's a guy following him around or whatever, so
right.
I don't know if I'll get cut.
I know we bust his balls all the time, but is that metal show, is there still talk about it? I mean, I know he said every week on his podcast, like, yeah, I hear it every day. People still talking about it.
People do really talk about it. Like my son's always fascinated by that. He goes, okay, here comes this guy. This guy's definitely going to ask if that metal show's coming back when he's walking up to me. And they do. It is crazy that My manager that lives in Hollywood, who used to rep like Robin Williams, Billy Crystal, been around forever. He's like, I've never heard of people asking about a TV show coming back. And I've been in the business 30 years like this show.
Right.
But I'd say no.
Would you want to?
I would definitely do it.
Just because the scene is so different now. You know, somehow I can't see you, Eddie, and Don talking about Dorothy or whatever. You know, I just don't see that working.
Yeah, that's what you have to do because these guys are dying off. So there's really, you know, doing less and less touring and stuff. But we'd have to mix in both the younger, you know, get Wolfgang and those kind of people on. But I would definitely do it. I mean, there's just not a lot of interest for it out there, this kind of music.
Right.
And, you know, everyone's doing it on the internet, too, on YouTube, and everyone's got shows and stuff like that. So people could find that stuff, whatever. You know, before all this, you know, when that metal show was on, YouTube, people weren't really doing shows.
Right.
Not so much on. So now everybody's doing it, too. So that kind of takes away from the, you know, the format. Look, we were just lucky to get that shit. And it just kept going. And nobody gave a fuck at VH1 Classic. Like, nobody even ran that network. We pretty much, you know. So they just kept it on because there was no other original program, and we were actually getting people to watch that channel.
Right.
So we had a good run. I mean, every season got picked. I'm like, holy shit, we're doing another one. This is fucking beautiful. It's going to end sometime. I know it. Because the people that were working on the show had no idea about anything. You know, a little about how to produce TV, but nothing about metal. So we're constantly fighting.
Well, I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it because I know Chris, but I fucking love the show, man. I thought it was a great show, and I would love to see it come back.
It is what it was, you know. It's just like, you know, look, it's almost like being in a relationship. It's like, okay, I'm married. I got to go fucking pick pumpkins. I don't want to. Tomorrow night we're going to go see Sabbath, but tonight I got to go pick pumpkins for my chick. So that's how you do it with TV. You got to I got to meet them halfway. I don't like meeting people halfway. That's why I just go on stage by myself and tell fucking dirty jokes.
I know you said you were playing in New York City. Are you going to be doing a long countrywide tour?
Yeah, I'm always out there doing shows. Yeah, it's constant. You know, I'm going to Rogan's Club next weekend, the Comedy Mothership in Austin. And shit. So yeah, I'm always out there doing shit.
Okay, I always ask the bands because, you know, I would like to live vicariously through people like you. What's the fucking groupie situation for comedy, guys? I mean,
it's over for me. It's over for me now. I had a good little run because the audience is getting older, you know.
Right.
So that's the problem. There's not like hot chicks coming to shows anymore. So there was a time though. It was pretty good. It wasn't like bands. It wasn't like bands, but once in a while you would, you know, it'd be all right. But it was totally because you were on stage.
But isn't the problem with comedy clubs is all the hot chicks come with the boyfriends?
Yeah. Always, yeah. Sometimes they'll come with a guy friend though, and you know.
But they won't admit it.
Well, that could work though. Maybe they'll ditch the guy friend.
Right.
I've had that before. Where the girls just ditch the guy friend. I go, "That's you." She's like, "I want to hang out with you." I go, "What about that guy?" She goes, "He's my friend." I go, "Okay." She goes, "Yeah, he drove me here, but I'm coming with you." I go, "Okay." Go tell him. The guy was miserable. I don't blame him. He paid for the ticket. Fucking had her in the front row.
Right. Probably bought her 2-3 rounds of drinks.
Yeah.
Got her lubed up for you.
I know. I wanted to go tell the guy in the park, "Hey, sorry, dude," but you know.
Hand him a 20 for those drinks and say, "Thanks, bro."
I was that guy friend for a long time where I was fucking. I picked the girl up from the airport and drive her to her boyfriend's house that, you know, treated her like shit. He didn't want to get it. He was playing video games with his friends, so I'd pick her up.
Nice.
Yeah, and got nothing. Kiss on the cheek. "Oh, you're my friend." Right.
No, I'm not.
Believe me, there was a 5-year run of that. It was brutal.
Ooh, that's
awful.
Dude, I got one more rock one for you too, and it's something that I bitch about constantly. I'm curious what your take is on it. I was actually bitching about it last night when I was doing my show with Eric from Stephen Piercy's band. Rock bands, guys, girls, whatever, that are showing up now in wheelchairs. You know, what's her name? Ann Wilson is now in a wheelchair trying to do Heart music. I say, if you can't stand up, cancel the shows. I don't care if it's Axl Rose that broke his foot. I don't care if it's Ann Wilson that has cancer. I don't give a shit why. When I saw those disgusting, horrible videos of Genesis and Phil Collins out there, and they couldn't even give him a cool chair. It looked like they grabbed a chair in the back in the office somewhere. And
out there. They brought in an Office Max with their points.
Somehow I don't even think they own the chair. That was probably on the rider. I need an office chair. It's just, they're not giving you a discount on the tickets, and that's where I get mad. It's like, all right, if I wanted to see Genesis, which I've seen Genesis before, I am not going to pay $400 or $500 today and see this old rickety man sitting in a chair. No.
You know who started the chair is Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl, and he should be beaten for that.
And Grohl gave his throne to Axl.
Right.
I saw that first show in Vegas. Well, they did that club show, and Axl Rose. But I saw the first show back in Vegas, and he sounded amazing because he wasn't running around.
Well, he may have sounded amazing, but did you pay for the tickets or did you get them?
No, I paid for them.
How much were they?
Probably like $300.
And you didn't feel ripped off even a little bit?
Nah, I just wanted to see him. So I think I might have bought the tickets before he did the club show, so I had no choice.
Okay.
But, just to see Slash and Duff up there and stuff. So
sure.
But then I just saw Rage Against the Machine a couple of years ago when he was sitting on a monitor because he tore his Achilles to sing with Zach. But look, it's weird. And I'm going to the Last Sabbath show over in England.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
I know. Believe me.
You're looking forward to seeing the other bands, right? Because that's going to be a train wreck. Come on.
It was originally sold that it was going to be a short set by Ozzy solo.
Yes.
And followed by a set of Black Sabbath.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's Ozzy's like, listen, I'm going to do bits and pieces, whatever I can. So I don't know how that's going to be. Look, maybe, Sharon said that he's singing better than ever, even though he's going to be in a chair. So Ozzy will be in a chair too.
I'm not betting. Look, if I was betting money today, I would bet he's not even there. I would bet anything they record him in a studio. I would bet he just can't do it. I don't believe he can do it in a chair. I don't care what Sharon's saying. She's always the bastion of honesty, right? Jesus.
Right. I'm just hoping somehow they could at least do like 3 songs. The original guys do War Pigs, Paranoid, Iron Man. Just to see those 4 up there.
Yeah.
But the way Ozzy said bits and pieces, so maybe he's going to have, Hetfield up there, and he'll be singing, and Ozzy will take a verse here or there.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe that's it, Axl, that kind of stuff. But Sabbath's my favorite band of all time.
I love them.
So I got to see it one more time, especially with Bill Ward. I felt gypped. Bill wasn't on that last tour. And then what happened was I looked, AC/DC's playing in a soccer stadium in Germany 2 days after that. So I'm going to stay and go to Germany to see AC/DC at a soccer stadium.
Nice.
So I'll make it worthwhile. And me and Jim Norton are trying to book gigs over there a couple days before in London, do some comedy. So I'll make a trip of it. But yeah, I was originally so psyched, and I heard about it like a couple days before it got announced.
Sure.
And then, I figured Ruby Sarzo is going to play, and then Jakey Lee maybe with Ozzy. But so I don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, as a metal fan, it's going to be the greatest show ever. Because, every legitimate band that can still play is going to be on this thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from that stance, it's going to be great. I think older guys like me, that went to Ozfests, we saw Sabbath as Sabbath. And, certainly even people older than us that saw the real Sabbath in 1975 or whatever, they really saw Sabbath. But I don't think it's going to suck. But I just think that it's awful that they sold those tickets for ungodly amounts of money. And then literally as soon as it was sold out, I was like, by the way, not going to be singing as much as you thought I was.
Yeah, I want to have the memories of the guys from when, they were good.
Yeah, I know. That's the one band that I'll do it one more time, especially in their home, Birmingham, England, where they started.
Mm-hmm.
And with that lineup, if it was just them, I probably wouldn't do it. And then I found that AC/DC's playing a couple days later. So I said, I'll make a whole trip of it. But there's a lot of bands that I see. I go, I don't need to see anymore. I saw them in their prime. I'm good. I don't need to see him anymore. I don't want to ruin that, but I will go, and I'll probably get suckered into whatever. But it's going to look Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Anthrax, Slayer, and I guess they're all going to do a couple of Sabbath cover songs, each band too. Yeah. So whatever.
Yeah, you'll have fun. I mean, it's not going to suck. Dude, how many Monsters cruises or cruises in general have you done that are rock related?
Monsters, I've done like 5, the last 5. You know, I get hired to do them. I wouldn't go on. I probably would. Maybe I would go on one if I wasn't getting paid and working. But I like doing it. Look, I like seeing those bands. It's fun. They do 2 shows over the course of 5 days, every band. You know, and it's cool just to watch it. And, you know, they have band like Rose Tattoo is one of my favorite bands.
I love them.
Oh, the fucking Angry Anderson, 78 years old. He's up there with a bottle of Jack Daniels, guzzling, fucking drinking from a bottle at 78. He goes, oh, it's great. His raps in between songs. Over in Australia, we got 2 genders, male, female. I don't know if there's any liberal fucks out here, but that's us. That's the way we roll. Fuck, it's beautiful.
Dude, Neely just was on that 80s cruise, the one that, you know, unfortunately Tammy Down's chick died on.
Yeah.
You know, but he was telling me, and I'm curious if I've never been on the rock. I cannot stomach that, you know, being locked on a boat with a bunch of drunken idiots for 5 days. Nah, pass. But he was telling me that on that cruise, I'm curious if they do this on the Monsters cruise, and if you've seen it, they have a graduation ceremony for people that are veterans of the cruise. And they literally cap and gown each other and walk across a stage because they're on their 2nd cruise or their 3rd cruise, or then they graduate to alumni after their 4th cruise. Have you seen or heard of this?
No, I haven't, but I know they do like theme nights on the Monster Rock cruise. Like you dress like a pirate one night, and the next night's an alien and a cowboy hat. I got on the fucking loudspeaker, and the whole boat like 2 years ago was like pirate night. Yeah. And I said, hey, LA Guns is going to play in this theater instead of the pool stage. Just want to let everyone know. I go, and by the way, anyone walking around with a pirate outfit on, grow up. I go, you actually pack that in a bag to bring on a cruise. Grow up.
I have to imagine when that's all going on, you're hiding in your room watching movies or something, right?
No, well, most people are like, you know, not too much. Maybe like these theme nights this time, I was looking around because they were like, hey, if you guys can participate, like they're asking me and Don and Eddie, if you guys, like I'm going to fucking bring a cowboy hat. I'm going to bring a special bag to put a fucking hat in because it's cowboy hat night. I go, no, man, I'm good. I'll introduce the bands. I'll do some comedy. Because they made us do like one game show one time or something, and we just stood there and ruined it. You were supposed to be all physical. I don't know, with some moving around. I'm just standing there like this. Just get me out of this.
Just write my check, goddamn.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. Those cruises are.
Yeah, I'm telling you, but it's, you know, when you got like 40 bands on there, you know, Michael Schenker was on, so you could see 2 sets. You know who's amazing live still? First of all, Tesla. Fucking every time. Another band, Night Ranger, unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Brad Gillis, just a fucking monster on the guitar. It's the original band except for one guy.
Yeah, it's who's the guitar? Who they got? Kerry Kelly's the replacement guy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. You got great. The original band there. LA Guns is great. Mm-hmm. They're fucking killer. You know, Faster Pussycat, they weren't on this time. They're amazing. You know, so these guys, the bands are still bringing it. Queensryche with Todd LaTorre. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's great.
What kind of fans do you get on those cruises? Because, I mean, that should cost a lot of money, dude. I mean, you're not going to get your average fan. You got to get guys with lots of cash, right? Or, I mean, is it still a good crowd?
Yeah, they sell out. Whatever it holds, the boat, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 people, sells out every time.
They're not rich fucks, though? Are they actual fans?
Not really fans. No, they're definitely, what is it, like $5,000 or $4,000 or $5,000? But you're on the ship for 5 days. You know, food is included. The booze, you got to be separate or whatever. But you see 40 different bands, and they're doing 2 different sets. And then you're docking like Bahamas or somewhere like that if you want to get off the ship. I never do because it's just like you get off and they got little shops. Like there's a Sunglass Hut in fucking you know, in Haiti.
or wherever.
I'm like, yeah, I go to the mall down the street for the fucking sunglass. I don't need to go to one in Haiti. I'm gonna get I'll get robbed, and I got new sunglasses.
Yeah, and I guess really when you think about it with today's prices, I mean, you spend $1,000 to see any show, you know, to go see Metallica. By the time you buy tickets and you park, and you know, I mean, Metallica tickets are $300-400 a hit. Then you park for another $50 to $100, depending on the city that you're in. If you go get something to eat on top of it, you're $600-700 deep to see one band.
Right.
So at least for that, you 40. You know, people save up, and then it's their vacation.
Yeah, it's their vacation. It's 5 days, and you know, you do whatever you want. There's a schedule, what bands you want to see, all that stuff. And they start at like 11 in the morning, go to like 1 in the morning.
Right on, man. Well, dude, where are you going to be? Where should people go to catch up with you? Where should they subscribe to your podcast? All that good stuff.
Yeah, my podcast, Everybody's Awful, comes out every Monday. And then, yeah, my tour dates, JimFlorentine.com. I got Florida coming up, a bunch of dates. We're up Minnesota, all that shit. So I'll be around. Well, I'm going to see Wednesday 13. I'm psyched, April 10th.
Nice. He's fun.
He's doing the Murder Dolls and like the Transylvania 90210 record. It's fucking awesome.
He's fun, man. He's a little weird to interview. I don't know if you ever interviewed him, but he's a very, like, he puts on the persona when he does interviews. So, you know, I've met him backstage at shows before, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" You know, he's all amped. Then you get him in front of a camera. He's like, "Yes, we have a new record."
Yeah.
It's very dark and morbid. It's like, come on, dude. Who are you fooling?
Yeah.
Well, dude, this has been fun, man. It's always fun. You know, you can always come on this one or any of my shows anytime you want to, dude. Doors always open. And thanks for coming on, bro.
No, of course. Appreciate it, man. Absolutely. Good meeting you, Seth. So did you get that thing? Did you get the man tits thing yet?
I do. I got it, but I can't put it on, man.
Why?
Because it's fucking too. I bought a 3X and it's too small to get over my head. I was standing in front of the mirror, like half fucking naked the other day, trying to put this damn thing on. And I must have stood there for a half hour trying to get my one arm through it, much less my fucking head. And seriously, I need like butter, Crisco, something to slide this thing on. I don't know.
Tell him he's a faggot. Come on, Jim.
What, couldn't your wife help you with it?
Dude, my wife, I swear to God, this is not a lie, man. I've been married in June. I'll be married for 20 years. She has never seen me with my shirt off other than one time because I had a seizure and they had to cut my shirt off. And other than that, sex, nothing. She's never seen me with my shirt off, ever.
You leave it on when you're banging her?
Yes. So I'm not going to have her try to help me put a fucking girdle on, dude. That's the worst.
That's true. I mean, you probably don't want your tits hitting her in the face. Exactly. If you're on top of her.
It was so terrible. So, the girdle thing, I don't know what I'm
Stop being nice, Jim, and tell him.
No, it's
gay as gay could be.
It's pretty gay, but if it was outside, if he was wearing it outside, like it was a fanny pack or some shit like that, I'm like, come on, what are you doing?
I'll tell you what. Even if I get this fucking thing on, I don't know how I'm going to get it off. I'm going to have to cut it off because I mean it's that bad, and it has like little like weights or some shit in front of it to like suck your organs in, dude. I mean, so I'm
what cup size you think you are?
I got to be pushing B, C. I don't know. I mean, that's why I wear hoodies all the time. You can't see anything. But I want to be able to wear I wear hoodies when it's 90 fucking degrees. And so I decided this year I want to go for T-shirts, and I need something to squish everything in.
Squish it in. Just accept that you're fat. Take it. Just accept
it. I'm
it.
Grimace though, dude, because once this thing sucks everything in on top, my ass is gonna be fucking huge.
Does your wife know you bought the thing?
Yeah, she saw it like hanging off the side of the bed. She's like, "What is it?" It's a tank top, but it looks like a tank top. Wait.
Oh, it looks like a tank top to squeeze them in. Okay,
yeah. But it's awful. There's nothing good about this damn thing.
And what did she say when you told her what it was?
She kind of giggled a little bit, but I mean, I think she wants me to look good. I'm assuming. I'm doing it for her, basically, because I want her to.
No, you're not.
I want her to keep me slim a little bit.
You are vanity 101, my friend. There's nobody doing it. You've been married 20 years. You're not doing anything for her anymore. Who are you fooling?
This fat fuck goes, well, why don't you just try yoga?
Yes.
Hell, I'm not trying yoga. If I wanted to do something to improve myself, I'd get on the floor and do some sit-ups. I want the easy way out. I want a fucking girdle to suck all my shit in.
If it works and it's it hides them, are you going to take your shirt off when you have sex with her?
Yes.
Well, she said you will.
Well, I mean, I leave the girdle on, obviously.
Right. But then you'll take it off.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then he won't be able to breathe because that thing's squeezing him so damn tight.
And look, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not exactly, the most well-endowed individual. So I honestly think that if I'm able to suck this thing in, one, I'll be able to see it again, and two, it might look larger down there.
How's that? Unless you're seeing double because she's drunk.
Unless the fat pushes out.
I'm assuming that it'll squeeze in and push everything out a little bit.
I don't think it works that way.
Well, I don't know. I can't get it on. Could do a lot of different things.
Have you tried Cialis or Viagra?
Hims. I think I signed up for Hims.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. But Cialis is good.
Is it?
You have 48 hours. And it'll give you an extra inch. So I don't know what you got. Maybe 4. You'll get the 5 inches.
If I had 48 hours, I'd be banging everything, including Chris, dude. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with a dick hard for 48 hours. But
no, it doesn't. It gets hard when you need it to get hard.
Oh, okay.
You can recover quicker. If it takes you a few hours to recover, you can recover in like 20 minutes. And whenever you need it, it pops right back
yeah,
up.
but see, I don't want to have to go see a doctor for this shit, dude. I don't want to have to embarrass myself and say this is my problem. Look, I got enough problems. Dude, Jim, I got one leg, all right? I lost a fucking leg. So, I got enough problems as it is. I don't need to be going to a doctor saying, by the way, I have one leg, I have man tits, and I can't get my dick hard. Help me out.
Every doctor knows. Like, the doctor sticks his finger in your ass. You're not worried about that. But, hey, doc, but, my wife's getting older. I'm getting older. Can you give me some Cialis? Is he going to look at you weird?
Well, I don't know. I've never been to a doctor to find out what they do for something like that. I mean, do they, does the doctor play with it to see what happens? I don't know what do they do? Do they just ask you questions, or are they do some sort of test?
What to get Cialis or
yeah?
No, you just tell them. I said, hey man, I'm having a problem getting it up.
But they don't blow on it to see if it moves or nothing to do.
Blow on it
unless you want them to.
I don't know what they do, man. I've never asked. I've never gone to a doctor and said, hey, look, the doctor that I have right now for my leg and everything is kind of cute. I mean, if she was willing to test it out for me, I think I'd be good. But I don't know. I'm a little nervous about that kind of stuff.
You'll get that little Indian guy. Hello, I will blow on your dick.
They're not going to care. Believe me, they don't think it's weird. You just say, hey, man, we've been married a long time, getting older. Is there anything I could do to fucking, to keep an erection? Oh, yeah, no problem. I'll write you a prescription. That's it. They're not going to look at you. He just had his finger in your ass. You think he's going to be like, all right. Now what?
That's another thing I can't do, man. I'm almost 50 and I refuse to get any kind of butt play going on. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about what they're gonna dig out of there. I don't want any kind of
they're gonna dig out of there.
I don't want any kind of prostate exam.
What do you think, they're going in with a spoon?
Again, never done it. Never done it. I don't know. I'm very private when it comes to anything below the belt, man.
Yeah, we could tell.
Wait, so you never got your prostate checked?
No.
It's not that bad.
Other than by a masseuse or something like that, I've never had my prostate checked.
Okay, so masseuse did it before.
Well, I mean, one of the Asian ones that for $50.
So you'll pay to get it done, but you won't get healthy.
Well, I don't think she was a medical doctor. She wasn't actually looking for polyps or something like that.
How far did you go up? First knuckle, second?
Yeah, I would say close to second. Yeah.
Wow, that's gay.
Well, I mean, I am wearing a girdle. Or trying to, anyways.
Yeah, now I don't approve of what you're wearing.
And I like
you go to second knuckle. That's gay. The first one, all right, whatever.
And I like Phil Collins solo stuff.
Well, I mean, that's not true.
That seals the deal.
Go put some suit on when the show ends and tell me you like it. Go, you know what? It's pretty good.
Been married for 20 years and have a kid, so I think I'm all right. I don't think I'm that gay yet.
No, I don't think so. But you probably should get your prostate checked.
I'm terrified of that.
Look, he puts a glove on, he puts Vaseline on or whatever, slides right in. If you want him, he could dim the lights for you, put some music on. He could put fucking Easy
Take
Lover
me
on.
home.
Yeah, Take Me Home. There you go.
I don't know, man. Don't they use a scope? I thought they use like a scope. They put like a camera up in there.
That's what they do in a colonoscopy.
Oh,
You're out cold, but no, the prostate, they just bend you over.
Yeah, I've never had either one of those done. No. I was talking to my dad about that the other night. My dad's like, he's like almost 80. He's like, yeah, you got to start getting a colonoscopy. There's no fucking way I'm getting a colonoscopy.
You're out cold. They give you the Michael Jackson juice.
Yeah,
it's great. And then you're out, and then you wake up, and they're good. It's good. It's good.
Not a fan.
Who is a fan?
You're not a fan of that, but he was a fan of when the Asian chick put a fucking
it was okay.
a second knuckle.
Totally different. A lot cheaper.
But it was okay.
Insurance wasn't going to bill me for that one.
I love how they come out with the hot towel afterwards and wipe you down. They put it in the microwave. It's beautiful.
The best one was trying to get in the mood for one of those things, and this old lady comes out, this old fucking Chinese lady, and she's like showering me down like I'm laying on a slab, and she's showering me down like I'm a fucking dog or something. And then they bring in the hot chick, but I wasn't really prepared for the hot chick after the old lady.
Yeah, they want to make sure if they're going to be doing that to you, they don't want you smelling down there, so they rinse you off.
It's terrible experiences.
It's funny. I would take my shirt off for an Asian massage parlor girl, but not my wife.
What's wrong with you?
What do you think your wife would do if you took it off and she saw what you looked like?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's a good question because I never really pondered that. I just haven't done it. I just refuse to do it.
She stayed with you when you lost a leg. And
like
you're
we
worried
took
about
a fucking shower.
shirt?
We were dating for a little bit. We took a shower together, right? And I took a shower with my fucking shirt on and socks.
You did?
I had my socks and shirt on in the shower.
Why do I see a new Jim Florentine podcast, the Seth interview?
Her shower was like a fucking hurricane, dude. It was like as soon as the water hit you, like bounced off the walls. But I didn't take the shirt off, didn't take the socks off. I never take my socks off in front of her either.
Chris is right. If she stay with you with one leg, she's going to stay with you over your man tits. She's not going to care.
I don't know.
She's not caring.
A little self-conscious, I guess. I'm not.
And by the way, Jim, just so you know, this fucking guy married like 900 levels up.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely sickening when you see it. Is Beauty and the Beast when you see those two together.
Well, because here's the deal, man. She met me at a radio gig, and she thought that I actually had fucking money working for a radio station.
Yeah.
Oh my God, your name is Seth the Barbarian. I hear you all the time on the radio. Blah, blah. Oh, thought I had money. Thought I had a career. Thought I had some sort of future. Little did she know I was going to be doing some fucking podcast with Chris. No money, talking politics the rest of my day, and having one fucking leg.
How'd you lose your leg?
Well, I had diabetic neuropathy to begin with, like in my foot. But then I was on vacation. I looked down at my shoe that was on the floor, and it had a fucking like big ass thumbtack sticking out of the bottom of it. Apparently, it was in my foot, and
you didn't even feel it.
No, scraping the bottom of my foot for God only knows how long. And so one night, my wife came home, and I was playing with the remote control. The TV wasn't on. My phone wasn't on, but I was talking to somebody on it. And I got sepsis, and I was in a coma for like 3 days.
Damn.
Woke up without the leg.
Too bad the doctor, when you were under and took the leg off, couldn't have taken the tits off, too.
I know.
You know what I mean?
There.
Might as well. He's under. He doesn't know.
Yeah, a little lipo. I signed off on removing the leg. Remove the fucking fat, too.
Yeah. Using that scalpel anyway, goddammit. Do a little extra work.
Something. Or take part of the leg and attach it to my cock.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, Jim.
Well, good luck with everything, man.
Thanks, man. You too.
And the door's always open, man. Anytime you want, anytime you got something to promote, door's open, man.
I appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, definitely.
All right, brother.
This is awesome, man.
All right,
thanks,
take care, man.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Later.
There goes Jim Florentine.
Good dude, man.
How was that for a good hour? Good quick hour.
Yeah, it was fun. Didn't even ask him about fucking Robin. But
No, didn't need to. No, he can go. He's fun, man. He's a lot of fun. So
yeah, I appreciate him spending that much time with us.
yeah, Because I asked him for a half hour. Obviously, he kept right on going.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
That was
Wow,
good.
we're already done.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's time to.
It's Minds
Do
time.
we have any comments here, or should we read them on Minds?
We'll read them on Minds.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. God willing, we'll talk to you on Monday.
Yep.
I know there'll be a lot of news over the next bunch of days, so we will talk to you then. If you are signed up for Minds or want to sign up for Minds, minds.com/Seth Williams Show is the way to go.
Yes.
I know Jim has a Patreon page. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, but I listen to his podcast. It's fucking hysterical.
It's hilarious. Do that. Subscribe to his podcast, and you'll figure out where the Patreon page is.
But join us over at Minds right now. God willing, again, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you, my friends.
See ya.
See ya.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Trip, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.
Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, Chris Aiken Presents, and the Seth Williams Show, straight from the uncensored heart of the CMS network. We've just been crowned a certified Rumble creator, and that means we're bringing the heat. All our shows, commercial-free, baby. Advance episode drops sometimes months before the normal release, so you're not stuck waiting. You'll get all this plus exclusive content for Rumble Premium subscribers that'll blow your mind. And with Rumble Premium, you'll get every CMS Network show and all of Rumble's other videos with no ads and no fluff. This is our official home, Rumble. It's raw, powerful, and unfiltered. You want in? Just hit us up at rumble.com/register/classic metal show to sign up for free commenting, chat live, and just your ability to join the chaos of all of our shows. Then while you're there, swing by any of our videos, smash that Rumble Premium button, and level up. Subscribe now. Don't sleep on this. Hit the link in the description.